Hello, my name is Dalton, and for this presentation, we are going to journey all the way to Scotland to learn about one of their most culturally important holidays, Burns Night. This holiday is celebrated all over Scotland, and you can see a couple of fun drawings of the map of Scotland on this slide. It is a very special night of celebration and remembrance of a famous Scottish poet named Robert Burns. This celebration happens every year on the night of January 25th and includes many important and unique cultural foods. These foods are served during a big dinner called the Burns Supper. The supper is more than just a meal. It's a whole celebration and ceremony packed with tradition. Each dish has a specific meaning behind it that is used to represent the stories and history of the Scottish people. Let's continue to the next slide where we will begin our exploration of this fantastic night. The star dish of the Burns Night Supper is called haggis. It is the most important and historically significant dish of the night. Many have heard of this dish along with some very weird things, but I think it sounds weirder than it actually is. Haggis is described as a savory pudding made from the different parts of a sheep. This includes its heart, liver, and lungs. These are combined with oatmeal, onions, spices, and a bit of fat. It sounds a little off-putting, but it's actually very delicious. It is described as tasting like a spicy meatloaf. The food has been eaten for centuries with different recipe variations passed down from generation to generation. It was the food of the common folk. Farmers loved to eat this food because it was very filling, nutritious, and easy to make. The introduction of the haggis is a main event for the night. First, a person playing bagpipes will enter the room, followed by the chef carrying the plate of haggis on a giant silver platter, and everyone will stand and gaze in appreciation. After the haggis is brought in and set down, someone will recite the famous poem by Robert Burns called Address to a Haggis. The poem is quite long, but entertaining, so I will attempt to read you a short passage. Ye powers wha mak mankind you care, and dish them out their bill o' fare. Auld Scotland wants nae skinking ware that jaups in luggies, but if ye wish her grateful prayer, gie her a haggis. The poem speaks praise to the haggis, calling it the great chieftain of foods. Burns wrote this poem about his pride for the Scottish people and their humble traditions. To Burns, the haggis represented the enduring and strong spirit of the Scottish people. Haggis is always served with two other side dishes called neeps and tatties. Neeps are mashed turnips, and tatties are mashed potatoes. Just like the haggis, its side dishes are also simple traditional foods of Scotland. These side dishes are still a common part of the Scottish diet. The land in Scotland is often green, wet, and rocky, so turnips and potatoes were very easy to grow for them. The neeps and tatties are a perfect addition to a flavorful and meaty haggis. The side dishes provide a perfect balance to the meal and symbolize the honest, hard-working nature of the Scottish people. The beginning of the Burns supper usually includes a warm bowl of soup. There is no specific soup that is served, but one of the popular soups include kakaliki. Kakaliki is a soup made with chicken and leeks. Another popular soup is called Scotch broth, which is a very meaty soup served with veggies and barley. This soup is a beloved part of Burns supper because January nights are particularly cold. The soup adds a warm comfort and is always made with traditional Scottish ingredients. All the ingredients on Burns night have been used in Scotland for hundreds of years and are a reminder of how self sufficient and capable the farmers were. There are many traditional choices for dessert as well. One of the most popular and delicious options is called the Cranachan. It is made by first adding a layer of toasted oatmeal, then fresh raspberries, whipped cream, and a splash of Scottish whiskey. The Cranachan, you can see, is the dessert on the top. The whiskey gives the dessert a little kick of Scottish culture and flavor. The Cranachan is a great example of how delicious and elegant just a few simple ingredients can be. Another option is called a clootie dumpling. This might not be the type of dumpling that you're thinking of. This type of dumpling is described as a spiced fruit pudding or maybe closer to a fruit cake. As you can see on the bottom, it looks more like a loaf than a pudding, and it's definitely quite a bit more dense. To cook this pudding, you place it in a cloth bag, and that's called a cloot, from which it gets its name. Um, the dough is then steamed. This is a very old dessert, uh, but it is very common for each family to have its own recipe that is passed down through the generations, and the recipes are held in secret, so nobody can steal the recipes. So the Scottish people really love this dessert. Scotch whisky is also a major part of the Burns supper. Most Scottish celebrations include Scotch whisky, and Burns supper is no exception. Whiskey is used for toasting and speeches and tasting the history that is distilled in each bottle. The most important toast of the night, of course, is to the haggis. It is ceremonial to pour a small amount of whiskey over the haggis. It is a final blessing to the great chieftain of foods before everyone starts eating. Whiskey is a symbol for the Scottish people. It is a beloved drink and always shows the skill and craft of the people who distill it. Similar to the haggis, whiskey is made from a simple combination of ingredients, the main two being barley and water. The Scottish people have taken these ingredients and turned them into something delicious and loved around the world. In conclusion, the Burns supper is much more than just a meal. It is a day for sharing tradition and delicious meals. Every dish has a special meaning. Haggis stands for the pride felt by the nation. Meeps and tatties represent honesty and simplicity of the land. The soups and desserts show the comfort of tradition and local ingredients. The whiskey is the spirit of the night and what the people use to toast and spread cheer. By celebrating these foods, the Scottish people are celebrating the culture and keeping the memory of Robert Burns alive. It's a feast that feeds not just your stomach, but your heart and soul. It shows the world how proud Scotland is of its history. Thank you.